the battle that defined Jon Snow's legacy. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you love House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and deep dives into Westerosi lore. Let's begin. In the history of Westeros, countless battles have been fought for power, revenge, and survival. But few were as pivotal, morally complex, and consequential as the battles led by Jon Snow. Among these, there is one that stands out as the defining moment of his legacy, a battle that tested his courage, leadership, and strategic brilliance, and solidified his place as one of the greatest figures in Game of Thrones. Jon Snow was not a man who sought glory. He did not fight for crowns, titles, or personal ambition. His battles were fought for duty, honor, and the protection of the living. And yet, through his choices, his leadership, and his unwavering commitment, Jon carved out a legacy that will be remembered long after the dust of war settled. In this video, we'll explore the battle that defined Jon Snow's legacy, examining the circumstances that led to it, the strategies and alliances that shaped it, and the moral and personal challenges Jon faced. We'll also analyze why this battle mattered not just for the outcome of the war, but for Jon's growth as a leader and hero. Through this story, we'll uncover how Jon Snow became more than just a Stark or a Targaryen, how he became a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to what is right. The stakes of war. Before the battle, Westeros was in chaos. The Night King and his army of the dead threatened not just the North, but all of humanity. The threat was unprecedented. Jon Snow, as king in the North and a leader recognized by both the North and the South, bore a responsibility that few could understand or accept. The stakes could not have been higher. Failure would mean the annihilation of the living, the end of civilization as they knew it, and the collapse of all alliances Jon had worked tirelessly to forge. Every decision, every move on the battlefield, carried consequences far beyond Jon himself. Unlike many leaders in Westeros, Jon's strategy was not driven by ambition or conquest. He fought for survival, for honor, and for the protection of the people who could not defend themselves. This moral imperative set him apart from other commanders and heightened the tension of the coming conflict. Assembling allies. Jon's success depended on uniting disparate factions, some of whom were historical enemies. The North, the Vale, the Free Folk, and even Daenerys' forces were brought together under his leadership. This required diplomacy, trust-building, and strategic negotiation. Jon's ability to earn loyalty was critical. He did not command through fear or titles. He led by example. He fought alongside his allies, shared in their hardships, and made decisions that prioritized the collective good over personal gain. This unity was essential. In Westeros, alliances are fragile, and mistrust is rampant. Jon's skill in forging a coalition of such varied groups reflected his unique leadership abilities and underscored why this battle would define his legacy. Strategic brilliance. Jon's strategic acumen was a defining feature of this battle. He understood the terrain, the capabilities of his forces, and the strengths and weaknesses of the enemy. He did not rely solely on brute force. He integrated intelligence, timing, and innovation into his plans. From positioning troops to coordinating with Daenerys' dragons, Jon demonstrated foresight that few in Westeros could match. Every maneuver was calculated, balancing risk with necessity and showing a level of military insight that elevated him above many legendary commanders in history. His decisions were guided by both logic and morality. Jon avoided unnecessary slaughter where possible, showing that true leadership requires not just victory, but ethical consideration. The turning point. Every great battle has a moment that defines it, a turning point that determines victory or defeat. For Jon Snow, this moment was both literal and symbolic. In the chaos of combat, Jon faced overwhelming odds. The Night King's army was relentless, and his forces were stretched thin. Yet Jon's courage, decisiveness, and calm under pressure turned the tide. He made split-second decisions that saved lives, rallied demoralized troops, and exploited weaknesses in the enemy's formation. This turning point was not just about battlefield tactics. It was a testament to Jon's character. While others might have sought glory or retreated in fear, Jon stood firm, embodying the values of courage, honor, and selflessness that defined his leadership. Sacrifice and loss. No great victory comes without cost, and Jon's defining battle was no exception. He witnessed the deaths of loyal friends and allies, endured personal injury, and faced moments that tested his resolve to its limits. Jon's willingness to sacrifice himself and endure loss for the greater good solidified his legacy. He prioritized the survival of his people over his own safety, demonstrating the kind of leadership that transcends personal ambition. This theme of sacrifice, putting duty above desire, echoed throughout Jon's life and reinforced why this battle became the defining moment of his story. Leadership in chaos. The battle was chaotic, with rapidly shifting circumstances, unpredictable enemy tactics, and the ever-present threat of annihilation. Jon's leadership shone brightest in this chaos. He communicated effectively with his commanders, adapted to changing conditions, and inspired confidence in those around him. His presence on the front lines reassured his troops, showing that he would face the same dangers he asked them to confront. Unlike many leaders in Westeros who relied on fear or hierarchy, Jon's leadership was participatory. He led through example, showing empathy, courage, and unwavering commitment. This approach not only influenced the outcome of the battle, but also cemented his reputation as a leader worthy of legend. The victory came at a tremendous cost, but the outcome reshaped the North and Westeros as a whole. Jon's leadership had not only preserved life, but it had also forged alliances and solidified his moral authority. The battle's aftermath highlighted the human cost of war, the value of loyalty, and the importance of principled decision-making. Jon's choices during and after the battle demonstrated that true leadership is measured not only by victory, but by how one navigates responsibility, loss, and the well-being of those they lead. Legacy defined. This battle defined Jon Snow's legacy because it encapsulated everything he stood for: courage, sacrifice, honor, and leadership. He was a commander who inspired loyalty, a king who prioritized people over power, and a hero who led with both heart and strategy. Jon Snow's actions in this battle became the measure by which all his decisions would be judged. It was not just a military triumph. It was a moral and personal victory that demonstrated why he was one of the most consequential figures in Westeros. His legacy is a reminder that leadership is not about titles or glory, but about the willingness to face danger, make difficult decisions, and sacrifice everything for those you are sworn to protect. The battle that defined Jon Snow's legacy was more than a clash of armies. It was a testament to the man himself. Through courage, sacrifice, strategic brilliance, and unwavering moral clarity, Jon proved why he was destined to be remembered as one of Westeros' greatest leaders. He led by example,